Welcome to Vault Hunters 3rd edition. This isn't just any Minecraft adventure. It is a high-stakes journey through randomly generated dungeons where we're gonna battle mobs, loot gear, and unlock new mods. The ultimate goal? To collect 25 unique artifacts and defeat the final vault boss. Doing this solo would take months, so instead, let me introduce the crew. Ickle is our master builder. Give her some blocks and she'll whip up masterpieces faster than you can say diamond pickaxe. Then there's Hidden Fat Man, our PvE specialist. He's seen it all, fought it all, and somehow made it look easy. And then finally, there's me. I've never touched a Minecraft RPG before, so this is all completely new. Will we rise to greatness or fall victim to the vaults? Let's jump straight into the adventure and find out. Remember to subscribe. Real quick, before we dive in, let me clarify something important. While we'll be teaming up to collect all of the artifacts and take down the final boss, most of our adventures are going to be solo. It's all about balancing individual progress with our group goals. While we wait for our friends to get on so we can find a base location, let's get started by digging all the way down to Deep Slate level. We're on the hunt for two very specific items, Vault Stone and Chromatic Iron Ore. These are the foundation of our vault hunting adventure, so let's get mining and see what we can uncover. Jackpot! Our first taste of chromatic iron ore. Though already inventory management is going to be a huge issue. Hello friend. Let's hoover up the rest of this shiny iron and continue the hunt for vault stone. The cavern has gifted us some vault stone. While mining this, we have a very small chance of getting a vault rock. We'll need a few of those before we can kick off our vault hunting adventures. I still have no idea how to use these tortoises. Like, what even do they do? With pockets overflowing, it is time to head to the northeast and try and find somewhere a lot less cold to live. My friends, we have made it! Situated on this charming mid-sized island, we're each going to build our own base. This corner here is ours, but it's a bit of a fixer-upper. Like, some serious landscaping will be needed later before we can build something pretty. For now though, as always, we're just going to have a little temporary setup just to get us going. So I've just made the vault altar and it's not terribly expensive. But in typical Hobble fashion, I forgot to follow the quests in order. So I kinda now need to go and get some more vault stone and chromatic iron ore. Though at least this time I can have a little bit more protection. Before I do, would you like early access to these videos before they go live on YouTube? And access to world downloads? Then consider becoming a channel member down below. So to make a vault crystal, we will use a vault rock on a vault altar. It'll request some random items as sacrifice, we throw them on, and we'd send in a redstone signal once done. Next we're going to need a portal to the nether, but instead of obsidian we're going to use vault cobblestone. This is how we'll teleport to the vault dungeons. Next, by pressing H, we can open up our character stats. In our abilities, the very first thing we're going to learn is heal. That's because there is no natural regeneration in vaults. And now when we press E, it's going to heal us up a little bit of health with a 10-second cooldown which is shown in the bottom left. It's pretty cool. So we're about ready to take our first steps into a vault. We're going to be running this one with the party, but after this we are on our own. We are in the lobby of the vault and we're going to accept the quest rewards and get an unidentified sword and shield. Right clicking these in our hotbar, they're going to start to roll through some possibilities and eventually land on some randomly generated items with random stats. Our sword has 9.5 attack damage and it does 6% more damage to tanks, and it's going to dispense a slowness cloud around us when we hit a mob with it. Pretty cool. Another setting that we have enabled is allowing us to place waypoints inside of vaults. That's because I am terrible at memory games. Okay, it is time. Let's head into our very first vault. I'm gonna try and be informational for the first few vaults to try and explain their concept. Then we can dive into the real adventures and grind. So we started in a vault lobby, and in the bottom left we can see how much time is left in the vault. Each room is connected via a tunnel like this one, and each room is randomly chosen from a ton of themes and designs. Nearly every room has a ground level, a lower level, and an upper level. We're going to start in the lower level, and as we get closer to points of interest like this area here, the spawners will activate and some mobs will spawn. Doesn't really look like there's anything here though, so let's go and check the upper level. Aha! Vault ores! So let's wait for the spawner to activate and we can remove the defenders. Now we have free access to mine all of the ores in the vault stone. These ores are going to be very important later on, once we start unlocking some mods. Nearly every recipe is going to need a lot of them and they're not really that common to find. In my opinion, those recipe changes are the worst part about completing this mod pack. It really limits what you can do with mods. Once we're happy that we've cleared a room or we've gotten bored, we can move on to the next room. Down here we have got defenders and they are guarding some wooden chests. Inside we have some useful loot and junk loot. To begin with, I think we're just going to loot everything, but eventually we're going to need to be much more selective. Thankfully, the quests did give us a shulker box to get us started, and we do get more shells as chest loot. Over here is another type of chest. A living chest. These contain different loot to the wooden ones, but these ones are mostly geared towards leveling up our vault level. These ones are gilded chests, mostly used for vault diamonds and vault essence, used later for crafting. At the top of the screen you can see that we are in an elixir vault. We can fill up that meter by either looting, mining ores, or killing mobs. Each vault, one of those things is going to give us more elixir than the rest, and as of editing this, I still have no idea how to work out which. And with this chest, we have now completed our elixir task. But in order to win this vault, we must find a lodestone. But with 10 minutes left on the clock, I say it's probably worth doing a little bit more looting at least while we try and find one. Ding! Omega chest. Nothing too fancy, but chests have got rarities. And all that usually means is they have higher quantities of items and slightly rarer items inside. That's our lodestone. Let's get our first vault run finished. 48,000 vault experience, 16 ores mined, 73 mobs removed, and 53 chests looted. Not bad for our first run. And we're now vault level 9. Yay! And we also got quite a lot of random loot which we really don't quite need just yet. Each successful vault is going to award us with a crate, which we can open for rewards. This is where we have a very small chance of getting an artifact. For now though, I am happy to see that we got some vault armor, vault boots with +2 health, vault chestplate with bonus item quantity and rarity, and a vault shield with +2 health, and a little knockback resistance. I think it's probably a good idea now to make up some extra shulkers so we can gather extra loot from the next vault. Heading into our abilities page, we have 9 skill points that we can spend. We'll grab Dash, which allows us to vault forwards a bit, Mega Jump to allow us to jump upwards 7 blocks, Vein Miner, which we're going to max out all the way to allow us to break 64 of the same block in one go, 1 point into Farmer to allow us to grow crops a little bit quicker, and the final points are going to go into Heal so we can heal a few extra hearts at a time. That's because dying means that we fail the vault and they only get more expensive to make the crystals. We also have 1 expertise point to spend, which are skills that will help us passively. We're going to, for now at least, put 1 point into Lucky Altar, which gives us a small chance for a vault crystal to be free to make. I'm going to get a little organized here and we'll be jumping into our first fully solo vault. I'll see you in a little bit. We have been spawned into an icy vault, so we're going to be slipping and sliding all over the place. While there's not too much to talk about just yet, let me talk to you about our server settings, since that's important to how we're going to be tackling this mod pack. We are playing on casual mode, which means that if we die in a vault, we are not going to lose all of our items. That's because this format of video does not really work well with the hardcore-esque kind of gameplay. It would be incredibly time consuming to keep having to start over, recollecting all of the gear, or, continuing to pay the higher and higher prices to get our gear back. It's a lot. On that note, we are also playing with double experience. That means that instead of having to run like 400 vaults in order to reach level 100, we would only need to run 200. And again, this aids in completing this mod pack and getting this video out. Everything else other than allowing waypoints in the vault is default settings. Now as for this video, vault runs are 25 minutes each. With cutting, I could get it down to about 3 to 4 minutes per vault, but with over 100 vaults to run, that's still like a 5-hour video. So I'm going to be cherry picking the vault runs to show the best or most important parts. RPGs are repetitive by design, and it's both their pro and their con. Mega Jump, Dash, nice. Combining abilities to reach higher places is a great way to save time. We can have a go with Ultimine and the Vault Stone is gone. Very useful for exposing the ores, but it's not really as good as FTB Ultimine. Yeesh, there has been so much mining to do in this vault, we destroyed a diamond pickaxe. It's just a shame that we don't have access to fortune or mending just yet. That is our lodestone and vault complete. Loot please, thank you very much. So we also get weapons and armors from like mobs and chests, which is great because we have a chance to roll something more useful. We got a rare sword, the third best rarity, and slightly better stats, so we are going to upgrade to it. We have got 4 more points to spend, so 1 level into heal and 3 levels into dash, so we can launch forwards even further. 1 expertise point which we're going to put into fortunate, so when we get a fortune 3 tool, it'll actually be fortune 4. Now storing all of this loot is going to be quite tricky in vanilla Minecraft, so I think dump chests are probably going to be our best bet for now. This is a village room. It is somewhat unique because somewhere underground there are some chests that we can loot in a type of dungeon. The problem is, the mobs that spawn down there to defend those chests will always respawn. Due to that problem, I'm honestly not sure if the loot is worth the effort and we're likely going to ignore this room in the future, especially since it's very easy to get overwhelmed by mobs. This is a factory room, another one that we're gonna ignore. Inside the containers we can find a variety of blocks and compressed blocks. It would be worth it, but these mobs are scary and they hit annoyingly hard. We did succeed in winning the vault though, which is great because we're mostly trying to speedrun to level 100. That's when we can really start paying attention. Chest spam has been acquired, so we can store all of that vault loot for later uses. We're also going to keep a chest by the portal for all of the items that we need to bring with us for the vault runs, so he's keeping them in the inventory. And we finally managed to get an ender pearl, so let's craft up a shard pouch. We get these shards from killing mobs, and now instead of filling our inventory, they are automatically going to go into the pouch like the Britannia's flower pouch. We are going to need a lot of shards later in order to play with the black market. We also now have a bounty table, which gives us an additional optional task to complete while in a vault. Like, if we mine 1 bomb ignite ore, we will get some bonus items and bonus vault experience, which is the main reason to do these. We got more points from the last vault, so we're going to upgrade Dash to level 7, and we're going to put another expertise into Fortunate for Fortune 5. Ooh, for crafting that shard pouch, we get a regular pouch as a reward, which is essentially a tiny backpack. Useful because it can pick up and void items, which we're going to be using a lot later once we get rid of the shulker boxes. Actually, I'm going to add the vault cobblestone to the void list now because it is essentially useless to us. Other than decoration. We've got a vanilla enchanting setup on the go for Fortune 3, but once we get a supply of emeralds, we can ditch this thing for good. Stay tuned to see why emeralds are going to be so important. Okay, I am tired of living on a patch of gravel, so I'm going to zone out for a little bit and replace it all with some dirt. Luckily, we've got some mountains here that we need to remove in order to give us the dirt. The gravel has been replaced and it's back into the vaults we go. And many vaults we run, clearing mobs, manually looting chests, seeing all of the different biomes that we could visit. We have entered the core gameplay loop. That was until we hit level 20 and we unlocked the scavenger vaults as a possible random task. These vaults task you with finding specific items inside the vault, like purple mob slime. I'm going to save you a little time, and I never worked out how to win these scavenger vaults. I just couldn't find all of the items that we needed. So instead, we just used these vaults for pure looting. So, to start unlocking mods, we need knowledge stars. We get knowledge essence from looting chests, and it also costs some beniatite ores, and we're going to need a lot of both. There's a few good first mods to unlock, but we're going to go for easy villagers. This will be an easy supply of emeralds and all of the villager traded goods, like ender pearls and cake. The main benefit is the mod adds rewards to mod boxes, which we also get from looting in vaults. We got 7 traders and 1 farmer. It just so happens that I borrowed some villagers from a village earlier today, so we could start auto farming some carrots. Those will eventually be sold to a farmer for profit. Yay! And now after that brief intermission, it is back to running vaults. Our very first room is an Omega room. Omega rooms, I should explain, have a 2% chance of spawning in any given vault, and they contain 0 mobs and 0 spawners. Their main function is looting. And oh boy, are we going to be running a lot of this room later once we hit level 100. This here is a vendor, which is a small room in a vault with items for sale. You see, there's a small currency that runs in the background of Vault Hunters called Vault Gold. The main way you can generate this currency is from mining coin piles, though I think there are other ways later on to get it too. We've also now unlocked the Brazier Vault, my favourite type of vault to run. Our goal is to find 3 braziers, but each one will add 1 positive and 1 negative modifier to the vault. For example, this one gives us +1 strength, but it also makes mobs deal 20% more damage to us. This one gives us 20% more vault experience, but there's a 5% chance for champions to spawn. Champions are essentially stronger versions of vault mobs. And the last one here is going to give us plus 25% soul shards from mobs, but it's also going to make them 5% faster. It is my favourite type of vault because we now have 18 minutes left to loot and then head back through our portal. As long as we don't die or run out of time, it is now impossible for us to fail this vault. And we now have enough resources to unlock storage drawers, and looking at the black market, we can buy a knowledge star with soul shards and unlock double pouches. We can now upgrade 2 small pouches into 1 double pouch, and it has more inventory spaces and an extra modification slot. Nice! For our villager setup, we now have a zombie converter to lower the prices, breeding, and incubating. For converting though, not only do we need to make splash potions of weakness, but also golden apples. Since golden apples can be useful for vaults, their recipe has been made ridiculous. 40 gold ingots per golden apple. Plus you need an apple, which is annoyingly rare to come across right now, so I'm in mega sad times. But now at least we can sell 4 carrots for an emerald. We needed those emeralds for this Vault Enchanter, which is an enchanting table which we get to pick and choose our enchants in. Very useful for Fortune 3, Mending, Silk Touch and Break. It's good for the lot. Over here we have got some animal pens. How these work is you put in 2 animals and then you can breed them up in a single block. Gone are the days of having large fields of laggy animals. Then whenever we need their items, we just take a sword and the rest is history. So, looking like a very confused pirate, it is now back into the vault until something interesting happens. Like this, we've got an X marks the spot room. If we dig under the X, we'll find a hidden room. We activate the pylon and then have to defeat the mobs that are spawned. Once defeated, a ton of variant chests are going to spawn for us to hopefully loot lots of goodies. Yay! Now, you may have noticed that I'm not really talking about what gear we are using, and that's because it's not really that important to us. Not until we choose our main abilities anyway, and we're probably not going to do that until we're like level 80. Much like in Diablo 3, all the gear that we get now is likely to be replaced in a few levels, so there's not really much point in getting too attached to it. From a mod box, we got an auto trader, so we're now auto feeding him some carrots from some farmers to automatically generate emeralds, our very first piece of automation. Fun. And from living chests, we have been getting burger ingredients, which we can craft into vault burgers. When we eat them, we are giving a little bit of extra vault experience. Those took us from level 35 to level 40. As for talents, which are passive abilities that help us in vaults, we have made a start on leveling up our speed to make getting around the vaults a little bit quicker. We have got 2 points into haste, giving us a permanent haste 2 buff for blocks and ores. We have also got +1 strength to help clear the mobs a tiny bit quicker. For expertise, we have maxed out the Fortuner and put the remaining points into Lucky Altar, at least for now. That's because the slowest part of running vaults at the moment is actually making the crystals to light the portal. And as for active abilities, I want to try out Hunter, just to see how useful it can be. It's supposed to highlight all points of interest for 20 seconds, though it does have a 10-minute cooldown. Then the last 2 points we're going to put into Nova, which deals some area of effect damage around us, and I'm hoping it'll help us out of a tricky situation. Okay, manually opening and looting chests is time consuming, so thank you to some servermates, we now have a solution. On this chromatic iron sickle, I have applied a ton of gems that we got from the vault, giving us a bonus to item quantity, mining speed, and trap disarm. Now notice how it says ornate, gilded, living, and wood affinity. That means that this tool is now capable of breaking those types of chests in the vault. But before I show you that in action, we have some mods to unlock. Firstly, we are going to grab refined storage, though we can't set it up just yet, it's mostly for the mod box rewards. And you know what, we're going to save the other 2 knowledge points for later. As for now, the vault loop must continue. This sickle works incredibly well, and the magnet on our belt pulls the items in towards us. It's very nice. Well, my friends, we are now level 50, and oh my goodness, the enchantment glint is driving me insane. Oh, that's better. We can talk like people again. So, I destroyed the mountains around us, ready to build a house, and then I can't really decide what house to build just yet. But in progression news, we now have 4 additional double pouches, each set up for specific items. We've got a blue one for scavenger items, and only scavenger items will go in here because the pickup upgrade is set to match backpack content. Something that we've used for all of our pouches. We have got a miscellaneous loot pouch, which is for the useful chest contents. We have got a junk pouch, which is for the chest junk, can you believe? But in here we are also running a void upgrade to void overflowing items. That way it never fills up. Then lastly, we have a pouch for shinies, which picks up all of the ores and burger ingredients into one place for easy organization. Now we've got a small selection of vault rewards boxes to open, and we have got our very first unidentified artifact. And it is definitely not a duplicate yet, so we only need 24 more artifacts to complete this pack. Yay! Well, excitement over for now, as it is back into the vaults we go. Let's do the next few as a bit of a montage, just to try and keep... Okay, let's unlock Colossal Chest, because these double chests are getting a little bit out of control. However, I hadn't checked how expensive the craft is, and now I'm sad. This is how much of a chest we can actually afford. We are seriously low on chromatic iron and copper blocks. Very big sad. So instead, let's use the remaining resources to unlock thermal expansion, along with thermal dynamo, so we can generate some power for refined storage. We're also going to get the pipes mod for obvious reasons, and then finally stacking upgrades. My friends, construction has begun on our home, though don't judge it just yet, as we're currently in the working out the shapes kind of part of building a house. The details are going to come much later. We've got a small deck out the front and room to grow inside. Not a fan of the floor, so it's probably going to change later. More importantly, we have somewhere for refined storage to live. We also went mining, so we now have an iron tier colossal chest. Just be careful not to store any vault armor in it, as you will risk overloading the chunk data and corrupting your world. Mega sad times. Now this is quite genius, but we are powering refined storage with a lapidary dynamo, using emeralds from an auto trader setup. Now it turns out storage disks are actually quite common in mod boxes. Now I still need to move the items over from deep storage, but I'm kind of procrastinating on that. So really, this was just a quick update to show you that Hobble does build ugly things first. But now it's back to the vault loop to get closer to level 100. First though, I'm going to spend a point on sorcery to give us 10% faster mana regen while at full health. Right, let's finish off that song and get these vaults run as efficiently as possible. Prosperous Vault guarantees an artifact. Let's go! 22 artifacts left to go. Phantom! 2 Phantom membranes later and we now have an Elytra. Combined with Dash, we now have infinite overworld flight. Nice. Let's have a go at modifying a Vault Crystal. In the Catalyst Infusion table, using Vault resources we can craft catalysts. Like if we wanted more living chests, we could apply this catalyst to get 25% more of them, at the cost of making mobs 10% more difficult. For now, we're going to be making 2 lots of 20% more Vault experience, and 1 20% more Vault ores. We can add those into the Crystal Workbench, along with a Seal of the Scout which is going to guarantee a Brazier Vault. Currently, our crystals have a maximum capacity of 57, and each modifier currently consumes 10 each. So we're going to have 40% more experience, 20% more ores, and 30% more difficult mobs. Create! And we can use this new one then to light our portal. Oh, and I should mention that we now look like a villager. These vault dwellers are going to be very confused. Unfortunately, there were not many ores in that vault at all. But what really matters is the 67,000 experience. Well, this one sucked to make. Slime balls were solved by a slime chunk, but cobwebs, they have to be found in the world in caves. Or we could unlock mechanism to make them, but no, I'm going to try and convince Ickle to unlock that, and so we don't need to do mechanism. We all know by now how I feel about mechanism. So from a vault, we were given a card deck, and we started getting cards as rewards. I never would have guessed that there's a card game within this game set within a game. How deep does the onion go? The cards mostly seem to add a tiny boost to your stats like cooldown reduction or damage and all, but there is a curio slot to hold it, so there's no reason not to use the cards. Now we are up to 8 out of 25 artifacts collected. This is the exact reason we are on a server with friends this time. It must really suck to do this solo. Let's unlock Cagerium, a mod I've never played with before because it was made for this mod pack. We unlocked it because I did try making a vanilla slime farm, but it turns out I suck at that. Dang it, we need a Wither Skull. I did not see that in the recipes before hitting record. Dang it. This is the worst nether portal location I have ever had the misfortune of seeing. At least we can fly around now. No So that just happened. I'm guessing Dash was on cooldown. Lesson learned. I do not want to be here doing this. Oh hey, tantrums work. We can now craft a mob cage and some mystery hostile eggs to get a hostile mob spawn egg. Slime is probably the one that we need the most right now. Draw, mob cage, and right click it with our slime egg. This is now a slime farm, however we will need 4 slimes in here for maximum efficiency. The best part though is it's a passive farm, so when we next need slime, we should hopefully have it. There's also a mob terrarium for passive mobs like sheep and all, handy because wool and mutton are both altar options. Ooh, a mine room! This is the room that you need if you want ores, which we really do. We leave that vault with 228 ores mined. Nice. We have walls, we have a decorative farm, we need a dock. Interior still needs a lot of work, but of course Chipped is helping a little bit with that. I'm really considering adding the framed blocks mod though, because that would be very handy. Out the other side of the house we are working on a lovely view. If we head to the left and follow the path, we reach Hidden Fat Man's base. If we take the path to the right hand side, we cross a brand new natural bridge that I'm over the moon with. This turned out so good. It's the first one I've ever tried making and I think it turned out really well. but over that bridge we can reach Ickle's base, which is actually looking quite lovely. Now, I think it is time that we finally get a roof on this place. Let me see what I can hobble together. Here's what I hobbled together. I don't think I've ever built a blue roof before, and I think it turned out okay. Though dark prismarine is far too expensive to build with, I don't know how everyone else does it. Interior is still a bit of a mess, but we have some upper levels to hide some things away. Down this wing we have all of our vault tables and a window facing the new dock thing. I think we'll do a separate video for a full island tour because there was just so much to cover. Oh no, my H has been vandalized into an A. How rude. Look at these flowers. They are a light source and I love them. A little tip for you. At the end of the dock, if you waterlog a bottom slab, you can still park your boat on it, but it is a lot easier to get in and out of the boat and back onto the dock. It's great because the water will not slow you down while you walk on it. We have a new mob cage with an invoker in it. That's because Totems of Undying are a vault item and they absolutely suck to get manually. Now somewhere, somehow, 21 hours ago we got a wither spawn egg. The way that we can farm this wither is with a binding plate. A somewhat insane recipe. An echo pog needs 8 pogs, which is 9 unique gems we get from the ore piles in vaults. A perfect echo gem, which is 4 echo gems, which are awful to find. But that is the echo pog and the binding gemstone. The problem is we need 2 black chromatic steel blocks. Incredibly, we have only just enough to make them. That's the binding plate, but look at this mess of a recipe chain. So in order to make 2 of these black chromatic steel blocks, we need 18 black chromatic steel ingots. In order to make 1 black chromatic steel ingot, we need 8 chromatic steel ingots. Plus a perfect black opal, which is a very rare perfect vault gem. Yeah, we need 4 black opals in order to make it a perfect one, and they are indeed very rare. But in order to make a chromatic steel ingot, we need 4 of the chromatic iron ingots and 2 refined carbon. I hope someone's doing the maths for how much chromatic iron ingots we needed in order to make those 2 blocks. But we also need refined carbon. Refined carbon is made from 9 raw carbon, which we do get from the vaults, so whatever you do not put this into your junk pouch and have it deleted. It is very, very valuable. I'm really hoping this is right and we're not about to spawn a wither in our base. Oh, thank goodness. Crafting wise, nether stars are pretty useless to us, but like all things, it is something requested by the vault altar. But now it is mining time again because we are out of chromatic iron again. Time to zone out for a bit. I will see you later. Hey guys, I did the YouTuber thing and I made a tower of them. At least we have vein miner. Ouch. 21 stacks. That should last for a couple of crafts at least. The best part is that we did Fortune 5 them, and we can now all double those with a pulverizer. Occasionally you can find dungeons inside of vaults, ranging from easy to impossible difficulty. It is totally worth doing the normal ones because you can run through it really quickly and there is some looting to do. Later I think we also unlock gear modifiers and we can get them in here, but I'm not sure yet. I have added Fireball into our abilities, but I'm not sold yet on how efficient it is. Another mine room, but without the bonus ore modifier, it feels a lot more emptier than it was. Much emptier and less fun. It is fun to heal your tools with experience bottles though, since we do get a load of those from vaults. 75% more gilded chests and 20% more experience. Hopefully we can get an Omega library room randomly generated because we're not wasting resources on inscriptions just yet. We also have 2 new trinkets to use. We've got a blue one that removes any and all fall damage, which sounds overpowered, and a red golden burger for double vault experience, which sounds incredible for what we're trying to do. No fall damage is amazing. We can throw ourselves around now as much as we like without losing any health. That is a lot of mobs. That's the plus 40% difficulty at play right there. Creepers. That's a new one. No way can we beat a champion one. This goblin's file will heal 4 health points and generate 40 mana. It might come in handy in a pinch. I've organized our gems into some drawers so we can see how many of each that we have got. This is pretty much everything that we have from all of our vault runs so far, minus the few that we have crafted with. Not really that much to show for it. Like only 21 legendary echo gems, which is not good. At some point we unlocked bingo vaults, which have specific tasks to complete to get lines and full houses. Tasks are things like looting coins, killing tanks, loot a number of chests without taking damage or using abilities. I really suck at these, but I am showing you this one because this is the one and only time that I actually complete a line on it. And honestly, I did it by accident. I have no idea how to do these vaults. There's also stamp collecting in this mod pack. You get them as random loot, and I have no idea why. 2 poisonous potatoes. That's awkward. I guess we can change our farm here over to potato for a bit, because the poisonous ones can be quite rare to get, specifically when you're looking for them. At least we can use the farmer perk to help them grow faster, but yeah, this is boring. Oh my goodness. Oh, that'll get your blood pumping. 130,000 experience. That golden burger is incredible. This is a Hunt the Guardian's vault. Our task is to find 4 of these obelisks in this vault and defeat the Guardians. The obelisks though can be anywhere in the vault, in any room or any level, so if you wish to complete this task you should probably ignore looting. This time I did focus on looting, but soon we will be doing the task. Still got 114,000 experience though. We have some knowledge points, so let's grab waystones. Obviously it doesn't work in the vault, but it's handy for the overworld. We're going to grab building gadgets too, along with the elevators mod. We'll put our 2 expertise points into jeweler, which gives us an extra roll on our jewel pouches that we get from vaults. Now I'm not really spending too much time explaining talents or expertise, as we are going to be redoing all of them quite soon and we'll talk more about it then. There are a ton of stats and builds that we can work on, so kinda need to do some research first. In an anvil, we can throw in our almost broken sickle, add in a repair core, and it is fully repaired. Though we can only do this one more time, as then this tool will break forever. Yeah, that sounded cool in my head. 1 obelisk, 2 obelisk, a loot belt for 28 gold, yes please. That's the next tier backpack. 3 obelisk, defeat the mobs, and that is vault complete. 164,000 experience, nice. And another loot belt for 22 gold, I love it. Plus an artifact from that vault. We already have the pink castle. That's fine, we can recycle the duplicates later. Also, I noted earlier that I said pulverizer, but it turns out that I subconsciously made a redstone furnace. I have since rectified that whoopsie, so we can now all double properly. This room is pretty, but the difficulty curve does make it hard to love for the low amount of ores that you actually get from it. I do enjoy a good X marks the spot room though. 59 seconds left on the clock and a final obelisk, cutting it close, that's for sure. Yeah, that was much closer than I would have liked. 194,000 experience, it was worth it. Level 70. 30 levels to go, but now the hard part starts because we're going to need insane amounts of experience between levels. And another duplicate. I have a feeling the last artifact is going to take us like weeks to get. 1, 2, 3, 4, efficient. 118,000 experience gets us halfway to 71. So much fun. Infuser seems useful, as it's a chance not to apply a negative buff to crystals when we modify them. Okay, this pumpkin and melon farm is far too small now for the quantities that it's asking for. Need to start thinking about expanding it. If we have a center block, and we have pumpkins grow where the walk planks are, we could ultimine 64 of them at a time. Boom! 64 pumpkins or melons. And it could be scaled vertically instead of taking up lots of space. Maybe something like this. Though it's not a full stack unfortunately, but 55 is pretty good. It's better than the 5 that we had before. And with a little decoration, I'm happy with how it turned out. We are going to unlock botany pots at some point, but for now this will do well. We even have an elevator to go down below to a melon version of this farm. Over to the right, I have turned our very first farm into an overgrown patch of farmland, as a sort of memorial for where we started. Plus it means that I don't now need to find a new use for the space and we can call this area done. Maybe we can say that it's adding to the story of the world. As always, let me know down in the comments what you think of it all. We're about to run a chaos vault, made from a chaotic vault rock by the one and only Ickle. That's because it's going to be made at her level, so we can all have some fun with it. Opulent, wooden, clumsy, chunky mobs, 8x angry mobs, living, 9x rapid mobs, wild, lucky, and chests. A chaotic vault crystal grants you 30 random modifiers, and it seems that it went a bit mad with the negative ones this time. The worst part though is it's given us a scavenger vault, so this is just going to be a looting run. and it does seem that every room is actually a different biome and theme. I kinda like that. Yep, the mobs are definitely faster. Thankfully still quite easy due to it being at Ickle's level. We're on fire now. Randomized chests at point of interest is actually a fun change. I like it. Now I don't think I've mentioned it before, but chests have a chance of being trapped. That means that when you open or break it, mobs are going to spawn instead and hunt you down. There is also the option that they can poison you. It's more of an annoyance thing really, but we can reduce the chance of traps with gear modifiers.
No, not the buttons! Not my gumdrop buttons!
What the heck was that, and why do I know that voice? That wasn't something added by editor Hobble, though he was thinking it. Wow, we just did that without taking any damage. This pack really helps you get better at PvE. Stay out of Blackwater. That sounds like something someone would say in a horror movie to the protagonist. Stay away from Blackwater. Nobody ever returns from Blackwater Bay. 86,000 experience, a fair amount of ores. I guess the experience wasn't that bad because we didn't win. There's no way people like doing scavenger vaults, right? There's no way that that is fun to anyone. So, we've got a few duplicate artifacts. Let me show you what they do. Light a fire, throw in the duplicate, and get a fragment. 4 of the fragments can be crafted into one unidentified artifact, ready for us to roll again. Unfortunately, it is one that we don't already have. 12 more artifacts to go until we take on the Herald in the final vault. Unidentified treasure key. We got an Ashium one, and in the vault there is a small chance of finding an Ashium treasure door. I'll of course let you know if we find one. Oh no, the trinkets broke. At least we can craft more for a hefty price tag of materials. 12 uses? What a rip-off! We did have no choice though. I love having no fall damage and double experience. We have hit level 80 and we've unlocked the next tier of sickle. The echoing sickle needs 9 echoing ingots. Well, fiddlesticks. We need 72 echo gems in order to make one. We have 36. I don't think we're ever going to be getting that tier of tool. I think we're just going to use a black chromatic steel one instead. Still a great tool, but the next tier would have given us more jewel capacity and repairs. Well, the jewels that we have are pretty good, so let's craft it. Just don't forget to vanilla enchant new gear when you get it. 10% item rarity, 19% quantity, 57% trap disarm. I'm happy with that. But I think it is now time for us to unlock the auto-feeding backpack upgrade. Now we don't ever need to feed ourselves again. Ashium treasure door, let's take a look inside. Boots. Really? That's disappointing because this has actually cost quite a lot to make the key yourself. And common boots with a kind of rubbish legendary modifier. Yeah, that's kind of disappointing. Ah well, we did get it for free I guess. Right, my plan now is to gather as much vault gear as possible. That way we can start to look at making a new ability build that kind of fits around our playstyle. Well, many vaults have been run and we have plenty of gear to work with. Especially this chest which has really good stuff in it. The plan will be to use the artisan station with all of the focus that we have been getting to re-roll the modifiers on them to fit the build that we decide on. Before we do, I do want to show you that we do have more mob cages now with some other useful mobs inside. Blaze, Creeper, Drowned, Skeleton, Spider, and zombified biglins for gold and rotten flesh. Outside of our pretty side of our base, we have a new path where Ickle and I teamed up on a landscaping project. It takes us around the edge of the island to a new stone archway bridge thing and into a fantastic cozy tunnel that Ickle made. Essentially, we're trying to finish off the island and make it all pretty, instead of just completing what can be seen from the base. Like, here we have a pond that none of us can see from home, but it is here for completeness. It also gives me something to chill out with between those intensive vault runs. Is it weird that I unlocked the trash can mod to just use them as decorative trash cans? It feels weird. Ickle has also worked on sprucing up the party portal, looking mighty good. And a new display area for our artifacts. There is just no stopping her, it is great. Hidden Fatman however doesn't really enjoy building that much, which is okay because we can cover up the view with something. Okay, I could have sworn that I recorded doing all of the talents and abilities, but I cannot find it anywhere. At the moment, we are going for a passive looting build. All references down below. We have 84% defense, 251 mana, and deal 222 damage, which technically we shouldn't need. Instead, we focus on the 537% mana regen and getting to 100% knockback resistance. For armor, we have prioritized getting that knockback resist, bonus mana and ability power, plus getting as much cooldown reduction as possible. We're also now using a wand instead of a shield, since it significantly boosts our ability power and cooldown reduction. Look, 3 seconds now between dashes instead of like 8. It's incredible stuff. Pro tip, whenever you see a pyretic focus for sale anywhere, no matter the cost, you should buy it. It improves the rarity of vault gear, meaning more modifier slots for buffs to go into. Gear is only half of it though. We need abilities. We are running a maxed out smite with Archon enabled. This electrifies any mobs that dares to stand on the same block as us. It deals 150% of our ability power as damage to that mob at a cost of a bunch of mana. We've got Hunter because of a passive buff that we'll get to, but not once has it ever been useful. We've maxed out Empower, which uses mana to give us a massive speed buff, so we can explore vaults super quickly. Obviously we have maxed out Heal, Mega Jump and Dash, but lastly we have maxed out Nova, except this time we have specialized into Poison Nova. This will poison all mobs in a 6 block radius around us, dealing 433 damage per poison damage tick for 8 seconds. Plus I think we can increase the AoE later with modifiers. All of this is to kill vault mobs as quick as possible without having to use any weapons. That way we can mostly focus on the looting and the mining. As for talents, starting with 1 point into Stone Skin for that 20% knockback resistance, getting us to 100%. We've maxed out Intelligence for plus 12 ability power. We've maxed out Sorcery to get an 80% faster mana regen while at full health. We've unlocked Hunter's Instinct so we can randomly trigger the Hunter for free. Honestly though, I really don't think this works. And we've almost fully maxed out Arcana, which gives us bonus mana regen when killing mobs. Oh, and of course we still have Speed and Haste. Okay, it's finally time to unlock Botany Pots for 28 points. 2 black chromatic steel per hopping Botany Pot. That's expensive, but I don't really think we're going to need that many of them. Not yet anyway. Now, good old Ickle went off and fought the dragon and she grabbed us some chorus fruit. Using some endstone, we can grow more without ever having to go to the end. Just how I like it. So it's going to get some time to get used to running this build and remembering all of the keybinds. The lightning is fun, but I think our level 100 gear will need to focus more on getting that mana regen up. Also, I am loving this new sickle. Wooden chests take hardly any time at all to mine. So essentially, we can just walk into a horde of mobs and have them quite literally disappear, though I guess fellas with bows are going to be our real weakness now. It is time to make a new tool, a black chromatic steel hammer. The first jewels will be picking, shoveling and axing. Next we need hammer size and a bunch of mining speed, a little durability and the rest should be copiously. This is fortune for vault ores. We are making a mining room destroyer. Got distracted, but always buy opportunistic focus as well, as you can reset crafting potential. Very handy. But before we make the hammer, I think I'm going to do another boosted gilded chest run with a library inscription to try and get some better gems. When using inscriptions, there is a map in the vault lobby showing you where the room is located. We need to go right, straight, and straight, and we'll find our library. Perfect time to enable the super speed. Oh, it really is a lot of fun breaking a lot of chests at once. You can ultimine chests that are touching, but where's the fun in that? 162 chests. Nice. 45 jewel pouches. I will see you soon to try out the new hammer. 58% copiously, plus 3 hammer size and 60 mining speed. I'm excited. Now I spent 8 echo gems to make a mine rune inscription. We'd better get more than 8 back. We've got 160% more vault ores. Let's find this mine room. We take the hammer and ooh, that is a lot. That is so many broken blocks. Insane. Oh my goodness, this is bonkers and I love it. That was from the top of the room to the bottom. And I reckon that's actually probably the best way to do this, as there are ores hidden absolutely everywhere. Though mining too quick does miss some and occasionally confuses the server. This is so much fun. Though I am getting a little concerned about our magnet durability. Yep, magnet broke. 1,226 ores mined, 290,000 experience. For our first attempt, I would say that is pretty dang incredible. over 2,000 Beniatite and 13 Echo Gems, 1,000 Painite and a bunch of uniques. Incredible. That's the only word to explain it. Well, I had fun. I want to do more, but inscription pieces are a little bit hard to come by. But next time, we will bring more magnets with us. So the quest gave us a neuralizer, which we're going to use to reset our expertise. We're going to max out Infuser and Fortunate, Crystal Mancer for more crystal capacity, Jeweler, Trinketer for a chance not to consume our trinkets on entering a vault, a single point into Lucky Altar and Marketer for re-rolling the black market, one into bartering for cheaper vendor prices, one more Lucky Altar, and one more Marketer. For talents, we're going to put 2 levels into Prudent to give us a chance not to consume a potion. So we now have 122 capacity on crystals, meaning higher levels of modifiers, 220% more vault ores. This is gonna be fun. Dang it, I wasn't recording, but look at the damage done to this mine room. Top to bottom is 1,000,000% the best way to do this, but I guess it matters that you gotta have Mega Jump and Dash maxed out. Also, Elixir Vaults are the best task to use for this. 1,900 ores and 500,000 experience. I have no words, that's mad. And it only gave us a quarter of a level, that's rough. So, I would never pressure anyone to build a pretty base for a silly YouTube video, since it's really relatable and the struggle for everyone. It is easy to cover up for a thumbnail, there is no pressure. Like this hill, made specifically for aesthetics to round off our area nicely. That was until shenanigans. The base has intentionally grown taller. So, in typical tit-for-tat fashion, we must now retaliate by building a house on that hill just to try and cover it up again. Gonna be honest though, I love having a reason to build something, and their base really is a non-issue, and I'm curious to see how far he takes it. Oh, and spoiler alert, it is literally just a facade. This is how I know it's shenanigans. But we have a new tunnel, which I was going to use as a place for having a snow golem to make snow for us, but Mr. Golem forgot what his job was and he doesn't make any snow. Not too worried though, as if we go south a little bit, we have a very big snow biome. There we go, the view from the window is now perfect once again. A cute little house has been built, with crops because now the story says that someone lives here. He's a lumberjack. So that is the reason that these trees cannot be chopped down, that's because they're part of the decoration. Smart thinking, I reckon. I haven't really tackled the interior yet though, as it is quite late, but the main build is in place, and it is nice and pretty. So let me know what you think. Is this checkmate? Did we win? I reckon we win. Moving forward, I think we really just want to be running boosted experience vaults. We have 7 levels left until level 100, and I'd really like to get there sooner rather than later. Okay, it is now the next day and I was ready to work on the interior of the new house. That was until I noticed this. Our new house has been claimed by Mr. Hidden Fat Man, and he's built an interior. This means war. I think it is time that we evict our new tenant and drop off his items on a little wagon outside of his base. Something like this will do nicely. There is a link in the description if you want to build this for yourself, as it is not my design. The problem is there wasn't any horses anywhere nearby in quite a large radius. I have no idea where they went, but I'm pretty sure you could come up with a story down in the comments to explain where they went. Oh, and of course we made sure to include an eviction notice, and I think it's time that we build a super quick interior before he gets online. It is simple, but it works, and that is 1 squatter evicted. Nice. Well, I guess it is back to the vault runs now for this final push to level 100. This is driving me mad that we have so many knowledge stars, but honestly we don't need to unlock any more mods. With 136 points to spend, we may as well unlock Create, Torchmaster, Easy Piglins, Weirding Gadgets, Modular Routers, Belts, Potions, Mixtures and Brews. Let's go crazy with some mod boxes. Large water wheels are nice because they are a pog each to craft. Igneous Extruder is also nice because we're going to need those soon. 3 more iron farms. Ooh, cart assembler is nice. That's an echo pog to craft. We can add in the iron farms to our iron, but honestly the sad part is there's not much reason for Create to be in this mod pack. The same with Mechanism and Botania. Unless it is meant for long plays with insane difficulty scaling, I really don't see them being useful on a default run. Oh yeah, let's make a chunk loader. Well, we seem to have accidentally built all of our farms in a single chunk. That never happens. But if we right click the chunk loader, it is going to keep this single chunk loaded for 5 hours before we need to right click it again. It'll be handy if we can remember to use it before going to bed. Let's craft up an altar conduit, because apparently this is going to automate the vault altar and I'm curious. We right click this on the controller to link it and then pop it down on top of the altar. Then realize it uses over 200 FE per tick and we are only generating 40. Oh dear. I guess we're going to use Flux Networks and build ourselves a little power station hidden away somewhere so we don't need to decorate it. I just need to go and work out where. I'll be right back. Hidden out of sight among our mess, we have a secret elevator that takes us underground to a new room. Lots of farmers, 3 auto traders and currently 9 lapidary dynamos. Just remember to set your pipes to extract the energy or you're going to spend an hour stressing that it isn't working. It totally didn't just happen to me, I promise. Anyway, we now need a way for our refined storage to access all of the items we've got up here. A cable works, but using a cover on the cable is much nicer. So let's try again. Pop on the conduit and one item at a time is going to travel towards our altar. Well, I must say that does actually look pretty cool. What I think I'm going to do though is actually move all of our farms down here into one single chunk. So we can chunk load everything and it's all going to be in one place for refined storage to pull from. I am a flower fairy and it is time for a jump cut. We are now all moved in downstairs and it is all hooked up to the system. We've also got our botany pots down here growing away. And after a quick break to run some vaults, we now have an expanded selection of mobs, including passive mobs like squid and cod because the vault altar demands it. Adding even more crops as well because the vault altar. There's also another lower level with some igneous extruders, extruding the 6 blocks that can be extruded by the extruders. I am hoping now that this is the final vault for leveling. We have a legendary bounty active to complete a brazier vault. We are level 99.5. Surely this should be it. It is also a modded vault run with the mushroom room because living chests give bigger ingredients. So many living chests. This mushroom cap is completely filled. Nice. That's level 99.75. That's level 99.95 for goodness sake. Level 100. Finally. Now the real work can begin. It is time to run a bunch of ornate vaults to get a nice supply of level 100 vault gear, ready for re-rolling. Oh, we are getting so much gear to roll. Much fun. 233 chests and the experience does not matter. Backpack 1, Backpack 2, Backpack 3 and Backpack 4. I think I'm going to be busy for the next few hours. Wish me luck. That was torture, but I think we are good for now. We have hit the maximum of an 80% cooldown reduction, 119 armor to help with reducing incoming damage, 48% boost to our area of effect, 36 health, but that came by accident with other modifiers that I did want. We're sticking with 100% knockback resistance. We have got 154 mana and 595 mana regen again, and we're going to keep increasing this as we get more legendary gear. 58% trap disarm combined with a 57 from our sickle means that no chest should ever trigger a trap. We are running almost exclusively resource cards as listed here. We have run a total of 93 vaults. Thanks to the golden burger and the double experience, this could easily be in the hundreds without it. This is our vault sword with a legendary plus 70 attack damage. Vault boost with 48% increased ability power. Vault helmet has no legendary, so we're going to keep an eye out for one of those. Vault leggings has a plus 2 level boost to poison nova, making it level 10. Vault chestplate has 67% knockback resistance. The wand isn't really that special either, so it'd be nice to find a new one of those as well. The other modifiers we've been keeping are mana regen and cooldown reduction. Poison nova! Oh my goodness, that's incredible! So, I better get back to looking for a wand and a helmet, but it's also time to focus on getting those last 2 artifacts. The plan now is to run vaults as fast as possible. 19 minutes left, and this vault took 3 minutes 50 seconds. The idea is, we ignore all points of interest, all looting, all mobs, and only aim for the braziers. 23 minutes left, and we now sprint back to the portal. After spending less than 3 minutes in a vault, we are given the vault reward, and this is where we get the artifacts from. Not this time though, but in 25 minutes we could run 1 full vault for 1 chance at an artifact, or run 5 vaults with 5 chances to get one. It's not fun. but honestly it's the only way that I can think of to get this next bit done so we can fight the final boss. One artifact remaining, and all we are getting is duplicates. I predicted this would happen, and I am sad to be right. His base has grown taller again, but this close to the end, I'm okay with that. Hopefully the next time we speak we will have all of the artifacts. Wish us luck. I am exhausted, but we finally have the last artifact. I feel like this part is for sure gonna lower the Hobble score. 249 knowledge points to spend. The fragments really do come in that quickly now. The plan is to now just unlock every mod as part of what I consider to be pack completion. We don't need any of the mods, but they're going to be unlocked anyway. Well, that's it for now, but I'm sure the rest will be unlocked pretty soon. That is our new wand, I think, with an extra 15% towards ability power. We're just now waiting for our schedules to line up and we are going to tackle the final boss. Wow, we have the final vault rock. And it looks like it's just going to be regular items to make it into the crystal. Objective, defeat the Herald. Time limit, 1 hour 20. I reckon we can do it faster than that. Let us go defeat the Herald of the Vaults. We have arrived. This is unfortunately not our first rodeo. Annoyingly, there is a game-breaking glitch in this version of the pack that makes this boss undefeatable. It took quite a lot of time digging through the config files, but I did find a way to skip past the broken boss phase. But be warned, you may not be able to complete this mod pack yourself. I've put the working command down in the description. I've also had to disable the game sounds because there is a non-mutable music running in the background constantly, and I have no idea if it's copyright protected. I have been through every config to try and disable it, but it must be baked into the source code somewhere. The boss consists of a few different phases between which we must drain his health. The first phase is the sandy blocks. The more we can break, the longer we have to reduce his health in the next round before he's not stunned anymore. You also need to dodge his fireballs, so hiding behind the sand blocks is how you do that. But before we can attack, we have a few seconds to get ourselves into a golden safe zone before the lightning strikes and destroys the whole area. We have a few seconds to apply some damage, so smite works really well here. Just watch your mana doesn't hit 0. We didn't quite do enough damage, so we must cycle through this sand phase again. And after that there's some regular combat phase before we enter the worst phase, the mob phase. It is far too long. There's going to be a ton of waves of mob spawns, and we must defeat each wave to deal a tiny little bit of damage. It is somewhat annoying because of guys like this archer who don't move and we've got to go and actually walk up to them. But just a heads up, the witch poison lasts for a very long time, around a minute and a half, and it hurts really bad, so don't get poisoned. Let's do a little over the shoulder smite. How cool would the pack be if we could actually play it like this? It would make the cosmetics so much more important to me. The next stage, we are supposed to break the chest to get pills to shoot at the center chest to lower his health, but it doesn't work. Thankfully, we can't skip it though because of the command in the description. The final phase is where he's going to start doing a ton of damage. This is where you're going to want to use your flasks to regen your health and your mana. He's going to spawn these little red bugs that we need to destroy. That's because if too many build up, his damage is increased to where he can literally one-hit you. Rolling your gear to use resistance instead of armor really helps you survive it. Nearly? Nearly? Yes! Vault complete. That is now technically mod pack complete. I want to thank Ickle and Hidden Fatman for their assistance, as without them, I probably wouldn't even tackle this pack just because of the grind. Leave them some love down in the comments. We have our Vault Hunters trophy. We have won. We have got 2 more mods left to unlock, and that is now every mod unlocked. We can now set up auto crafters if we wanted to, but I think that is far too much excitement for one video. So if you did enjoy yourself, then be sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video like this. There's also a playlist of the other mod packs that I've completed in one video down in the comments below, so check them out if you have some time. Hobble's review. It took me 7 days of playtime in game, spread over 23 real world days to complete. Now for the Hobble score. Difficulty gets 2 stars. You hit mobs, you try out abilities. Nothing too technical or difficult to understand. Progression gets 2 stars. Gating all of the modded recipes behind a ton of vault runs is rough, and it was really quite difficult to leave vanilla Minecraft. Integration gets 1 star. The mods don't really integrate with each other at all, and other than long plays, I'm not exactly sure why some were included. Repetition gets 3 stars. I'm not going to be too harsh here because RPGs are repetitive by design. The artifact system was hard to handle, and getting the final artifact was a lot of unnecessary grind. Endgame, as you can guess, gets 1 star. I am not sure that I can give 0 stars with this review system that I made, so 1 star since Endgame was broken, had unmutable music, and it was unsatisfying for the work put in. It could have been an email. Innovation gets 3 stars. Putting an RPG into Minecraft is difficult, and I think that the development team did well with what they had available. Enjoyment gets 3 stars. From level 1 to 70, it was great. Everything was going well, and then the real repetition kinda set in. Using Smite and Poison Nova though was a whole lot of fun. What I would change though is making artifact fragments craftable with the endgame loot. That way you don't need to do as many of those 3-minute runs. And time gets 3 stars. My experience of the pack on a server with 2 friends and double experience was good. However, as a solo player, I feel like this pack would demand far too much time. That brings the Hobble score to 41%. Now keep in mind that this review system wasn't really made for RPGs, so your score is probably going to be different to mine. So from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.